Hello, all. Good evening. Good, great. So, yeah, I'm here to speak on the 10th chapter from "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins. The chapter name is "Empowerment of Failures." So, would you accept failure to be your friend? Most people do not. Correct. So, failures are always being not accepted as a friend but a misery, like your mind get into a negative zone when you fail on a certain thing. Correct. So now how to empower the failure, so how to make failure your authority and improve upon your life is what the author focuses here in this chapter, empowerment of failure. So basically, do you think that you have a after action report for all the failures in life? Most probably no. Even I don't have. But one way or the other, we have done this. We have done this in our life. Most probably, when you look back into certain examples, you might have obviously done this. So, what does an after action report means? Right? So after action report, so basically the author conveys here that when he was in military, like there is a standard rule in military that regardless of what your mission is, you have to submit an after action report, even if the mission was a big success or a failure. If the mission was a failure, then that's more important. The after action report was more important. So it is basically an autopsy of what mission they have conducted. So here the author suggests the same, like to have an after action report for all your activities that you have failed. So one way to do this after action report is to start with what good things you have done before you met that failure. So for example, if you are taking 100 push-ups, or if you are bound to take more than 30, 40 push-ups, so the moment where you failed, before that you had a pleasant experience, right? So those experience, those positives, just start making note of that in your after action report, and then later focus on all the negatives. Bring it down, all the negatives that possibly you could think of, because this is where you will be bringing out your action plan to improve upon those negatives on the failure. Here, I would just iterate. As I said, we all must have gone through this in one way or the other. So let me tell you my example of what I did as an after action report. So when I was doing my PMP certification, I tend to fail in all the mock-ups. So what action I did then was I try to understand what I'm good at from the mock-up questionnaire answer. Like the mock-up questionnaire results would give me two phases. One thing that you're doing good at, all the chapters that I am doing good at, and second one, all the chapters where I failed at. So now what all chapters I covered with good marks in the mock-up questions is set aside because I know about that subject, right? And the second part was where I failed, where I got less marks in the mock question paper. So that is where my focus should be. And then I tried focusing on that, experimented, then put on continuous effort to improve it, and then you see that marginal improvement. Correct. That's now if you take engineering as an example, everybody must have gone through supplementary exams. Correct. So what is the difference between normal exam and your supplementary exam? So the supplementary exam is something where you put more effort on the subject that you do not know, and you tend to learn more about that. And if you come across the same question again, you will blast it off, right? You will blast it off to the maximum extent that is possible. So it is the same thing here. You have to identify why you went wrong, what are the reasons that went wrong, that caused this failure, what are the other factors that you have to put in which to improve on that failure. So once you write down the reasons for failure, then you can prepare a good action plan to mitigate or avoid that failure the next time. So this is the way of empowering failure. So I hope you like the message from this chapter, and see you all. Bye bye.